All right, guys. So hopefully we can get this technical issue solved. If we are able to, we're going to be talking with Dan from Cantera Negra Tequila. He's going to be joining us live. He is the master distiller over at Cantera Negra Tequila. We're going to be talking everything about the brand, getting to know their process, everything of that nature. So let's see if we can get him on here and see if we can get going here. So hopefully we've gotten the yes, Adolfo, we're back. Hopefully we've gotten the technical issues resolved, and we can get him on here. We can talk everything Cantera Negra, and you guys in the comment section, you can ask all the questions that you may have, learn more about Cantera Negra, and just really learn about this beautiful brand. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sipping on the Reposado. I gave my thoughts. Well, I mixed up a cocktail yesterday. You can see in my in my feed. You can see the cocktail that I mixed up. What's going on, Dwayne? Of their Blanco. You can see what my ideas on that. Of course, it's still delicious to just drink it straight, drink it clean. I have their Añejo, who's going to be giving my thoughts on tomorrow in a write-up. And, of course, their Extra Añejo. You can see I really enjoy this. So you'll be able to get my thoughts on that as well. Let's see if we can resolve these technical issues and get Dan on this live. See if we can get him on here and we can talk Cantera Negra, we can talk tequila, we can talk, his distilling process. You there?
Hey, I made it.
Yes, yes, we got it. We got it. Nice, man.
I had to install really fast on my phone, Instagram, and do everything all over again. I was hoping to do it on my computer, but that was impossible. But
yeah, well, hey, we're happy I'm very happy to have you here. Very happy to, for us to solve this technical issues. So for everyone, as I said before, this is Dan with Cantera Negra Tequila. I'll let you tell everyone here real quick, who you are, of course, your full name, the association you have with Cantera Negra, and then we'll get into interview and we'll get some questions and everything from our audience here too.
Perfect. We'll start with my name. My name is Dan Becherano. I am the master blender and co-owner of Cantera Negra. Cantera Negra is a tequila brand that has been around for a little over 10 years. Our factory and our tequila history has over 45 years, but this specific brand is 10 years old. It's our passion. It's what we do. It's our finest hour and our passion, most importantly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is absolutely a beautiful expression. I'm sipping on the Reposado right now. I've been able to sip on this while we're resolving all these issues and everything. So what do you have in your glass? You have the Reposado as well?
Yeah, Reposado as well.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. And cheers for everyone out there as well. So if you guys want to hop on and off, while we're starting to get into this interview, you guys can order Cantera Negra through the link through their Drizzly page that's in my bio right now. And the link is there right now, so you can definitely go on there and click on there and order that right now. But let's get into it, man. So what was the motivation? Like, how did you get started when it comes to the master blending and and just getting started, the ideas of this? I know we talked before, but I want everyone here to know, how you got started in this. What is your, what was the process to get this brand started for you?
Well, pretty much this happened, as I mentioned, somewhere around 45 years ago. My dad was on a business trip in Europe. He was looking for business out there. I don't know how much business he was looking for or how much fun he was having with his business associates. But apparently, and from what he tells me, he was trying to look for some business. He ended up in very small restaurant in the mountains of Switzerland, a Mexican restaurant, go figure. uh, and he got along with the owner. The owner was a Mexican also, and he told him, the only tequila that we're getting here is a very bad quality. It's even bottled in France. It shouldn't be called tequila. But if you're able to bring me tequila, very good tequila, I'll buy from you a container a month. So my dad got crazy, and he decided he wanted to go into that thing. He started going around Jalisco and seeing different small factories, and he started falling in love with the product. He actually wasn't a tequila drinker. He was a brandy and bourbon. I mean, a Scotch drinker. And he didn't drink that much tequila. Actually, in Mexico City, it wasn't that famous. It was pretty much for the people of Jalisco and pretty much for the working crowd. So he started falling in love, and he started seeing some things in tequila, some complexities and some very rich products. So he completely fell in love and decided to drop everything else he was doing at the moment and to dedicate the rest of his life to tequila. The business in Europe never came to be, but as I mentioned, he fell so much in love that he started on that, and there wasn't a way he could stop. So it was tequila from then on.
Nice.
We've been on this road. Well, I've been on it for somewhere around 12 years. Somewhere around 12 years ago, I decided to go in with him in his business. First, with small jobs, and I started selling for him. And then I decided that this could be also a very nice way to dedicate my life. And so I started falling in love with the product. I started studying a little bit. I became a tequilier, as it's called here in Mexico. It's like a sommelier, but especially for tequila. I became that, and I started doing the blending, learning from my dad, from his years of experience, and finally becoming the master blender for the brand, and also an associate for it. I'm trying to buy it off my dad, hopefully.
Hey, well, you're taking over the business, you're taking over the blending of the process and everything. So I'm sure he's going to, you're going to have to get it off his hands at one point.
Yeah.
I know that, unfortunately, we weren't able to have Lance on the live with us as well, but he was telling a story about how he found you guys. So, of course, you've heard the story many years over.
Yeah.
So can you tell that story for him on how you and how your family and how Lance came to create Cantera Negra?
Yeah, I think so. As you mentioned, I've heard it so many times. I almost know it by heart. So this happened somewhere around, I believe, 9 years ago. Lance is a competitive fisherman, and he's been doing in Cabo San Lucas. We have the biggest tuna tournament in the world. Wow. And he's been going to it for some years. And 9 years ago, they came to the tournament, and they said, we're going to win this thing. So they went out. It was a little bit late. It was very close to closing time, and they fished 340-pound fish that day, which completely broke the record. It actually broke the scale when they came back in. They had to put the scale back on and do all sorts of things so the scale doesn't broke. So they win the tournament. He and his team win the tournament. So there's a big party over there, and there's hundreds of people celebrating and having fun and screaming and all. And so they were so tired because it took them somewhere around 4 or 5 hours to take the fish out, and it completely took all of the strength of the team. So they decided to head out of the competition and to stop at a bar to have some silence and to celebrate because it was a big prize. So they stopped at a bar very close to their hotel, and they told the barman, which is also the owner, they told him, you know what, give us the best tequila that you have. And so this guy walks to a mop closet he has behind the bar, opens them up, close it up, and there's a tequila barrel back there. So he gets 4 shots out of that barrel, brings them back, and these guys are expecting your traditional, typical tequila shot. They're expecting a horrible experience. So
Right.
they do the shot, and they're like, "What's going on? What did you give us? This is not tequila." And he said, "This is very good tequila. That's why you don't know it." So from then on, Lance started. He wanted to know where that tequila came from. So he asked the owner. He said, "You know what? Give me the brand of this tequila." And the owner said, "No, I will not. I will not. It's my personal stash. I'm not going to give you a brand." So apparently that happened for 5 more years. They went back there. They tried to coax the guy into telling them what tequila was in there, and he didn't tell them. One day, a very good friend of Lance that lives here in Cabo wrote him and said, "I got it." And apparently, from a barmaid that he hooked up with, she told him the secret, and he gave him our name. And he said, "You know what? There's this web page. You can get to them." So right after that, Lance wrote us an email. We immediately responded, and somewhere I think like 4 or 5 days after that, Lance was here in Cabo talking with my dad.
Oh, nice.
So it was very serendipitous. And from then, we found that we were very similar in the way that we thought. It was very strange to us because my dad has been around for a while in this tequila. He's been wanting to export to the US. He's been at the offices of the most important importers, distributors in the US. But for some reason, he never connected as a person. And for him, since this is very much something that is personal and that all of his love goes into it, he didn't want to do any business until he was emotionally connected with that person or with that company. So when Lance came in, Lance, by the way, is a tax attorney, and he never ever made any business in the spirit world and tequila world. He had no idea.
Right.
But they connected in such a way, and after that, I connected with him in such a way that we decided this is the guy. This is the guy that we're going to do our business with. This is the guy that's going to be our face, and he's going to pass all of this love and all of this blood, sweat, and tears that we put into the product. He's going to show that to the American public. And 3 years later, almost 4 years later, yeah, it's there. It's there. We've been having very good response. We're in 26 states now, and growing pretty much because of what we put into the product. And if you want, I'll tell you more about that in a little while, so I don't speak. It's your life, not mine.
No, it's it's beautiful to hear these stories. It's beautiful to hear the history behind how these tequilas come about, because so many people are so used to these huge name brands that is just thrown in their face. So it's like for someone to come in here and hear the family history of of all of this and the backstory behind all of this, where you have an amazing tequila distiller and master blender, and and it's making an absolutely beautiful product that's coming out, and it's well loved and well liked around Jalisco and around Mexico, and you have this random American who was just come down here to catch a tuna, now is turned into this beautiful brand and this beautiful expression that we get to enjoy here in America now. I mean, that's something that it's a beautiful story, and it's something that people need to hear. And that's why I'm so happy to be talking with you right now, because I love these stories, because it makes you appreciate the tequila even more,
Yeah.
And this is why I'm like, okay, this is a brand that I want to partner with in order to bring that story, because it's absolutely beautiful, so I have so many questions about how did that guy, I don't know if you know this or not, but how did that guy end up getting your tequila in barrel in his utility closet?
You know, was it something that your dad did on a normal basis where he just sold to like smaller bars, or how did that come about? So where Dan was able to even taste that.
Okay. Thing is that apparently it's a thing here in Cabo that each bar likes to have like their house tequila to
Mm-hmm.
give it somewhat of an edge. This guy pretty much goes to a supermarket, buys our bottles, and just fills his barrels with it.
Oh, wow. So,
And he tells everybody it's his own. He bought it directly from the producers. He went and sourced it in Jalisco. He made this whole story around. He just went to the supermarket. I know the real story. I never met the guy.
that's beautiful. So he wanted to bring a myth about it all,
Yeah,
and good thing that he did though, because we wouldn't be able to enjoy this right now if he didn't. You know, so
exactly.
so how did you? So what's the transition between you and your father? Kind of tell me what's kind of like the distilling process there. What's kind of like the labor of love. Tell me, tell more about your process and and what is making this such a delicious brand and a delicious tequila that everyone should have on their bar right now.
Okay. I believe it all starts with the name. The name Cantera Negra, as I told you that day, it means black quarry rock. This is because we found that soil in the lowlands of Jalisco, uh, especially the soil that is very close to a volcano, it has such mineral content to it that we believe that, first of all, it filters whatever goes into that soil. And second of all, it gives it a certain minerality that now that you're having your reposado, you can taste it in there. And we fell completely in love with it. So we decided that we're only going to use agaves from that specific region. And we are really, really specific as to which agaves we choose. We have our own plantations, but we also buy from other plantations. But they really do have to have this special quality. Uh, we kind of like to do things a little bit different than most out there because my dad has always been adamant about not turning this into just a business. Because when you turn this into just a business, you start cutting corners, you start squeezing the last cents out of each tiny little thing that you're doing. And we believe that that's when the passion starts to die. Whenever money comes first, then passions die.
Right.
So what we do is, first of all, we late harvest our agaves. We try to wait for as long as possible, 6 years, 7 years sometimes, before we harvest the agave. Because we believe that there are certain qualities, especially in the sweetness of the product, that come out until those over 5 years. And because pretty much right now the industry is taking agaves out of the ground 4 years old, 3.5 years old, even, obviously because there is so much demand for it and there's so little agave that
Right.
people are rushing this process. And we don't want to do that. We still firmly believe that our biggest asset is the products that's inside the bottle. And our biggest communicator and our biggest way to know that we're doing the right thing is when we see the consumer's face and when we listen to the consumer and they're telling us that this is a product worth drinking, worth enjoying.
Uh, yeah, this is absolutely a beautiful product. I mean, if everyone knows I'm an extra añejo guy. I'm an añejo guy. That's what I really love. So I just want to show you this. I've actually show you guys this. I actually drink this tequila. Like this is not me just taking a sip. I actually love this tequila. This is a beautiful expression. You can see it every single one of these bottles. They've been opened. They've been drank. You know, so just to speak to you what you're saying there, that this is you want someone that actually enjoy this. This is actually a beautiful expression. It's something that you take your time with, something that you really savor. It's not something you take shots of or anything. And that's, to me, that would be so disrespectful for someone to, someone like you guys to take so much time and effort and put so much love into making a beautiful craft, and and doing it properly. It's highly disrespectful to go and just take a shot of it and be like, oh yeah, it's like, dude, man, Dan, his dad, you guys are putting your heart into this. You guys, everyone you work with are putting your heart into this, and this really, it really shines through in every single pour. And this right here, this reposado, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. You have the fresh agave, you have a nice pepper to it. You can taste the minerals in there. You can taste the earthiness. You can taste, that nice slight sweetness in this reposado. I mean, I'm not much of a reposado guy, but I'm enjoying this. I'm truly, it's truly delicious. I'm on my second glass of it already. For you guys out there that are really, wanting to know what I'm thinking of all of these expressions. This is my second glass of a reposado. You guys know I'm mostly posting about añejos and extra añejos. So for your production, I know that we talked about, before when we talked, we were talking about the age that you let, your añejo and your extra añejo and your reposados go. And you said you have a unique process with all of that you don't go by just a date. So you want to, I would love for you to expand on that and, let people know, like, what is your process on when you look and say, hey, this reposado is ready, this añejo is ready, this extra añejo is ready?
Okay. Well, first of all, speaking about doing things differently, we have our own cooperage factory, which is something very strange over here. I don't know if you know, but most of the barrels that we use for tequila and that the industry uses for tequila come either from the US, from bourbon used barrels, or from France for cognac. Bourbon, obviously, since it's closer and since you can only use a barrel once, they come out and they're pretty much new for us. So the industry uses it a lot. But we have our own cooperage factory because we like to play around with different kinds of woods, with bourbon wood, with cognac wood, and with Mexican wood also. So we do our own barrels. Sometimes we mix woods. So we try to experiment with everything there is out there to do something very special and something different. We also age well over industry standards and industry laws because we believe that that's where you really can make your expression your own by aging it longer. As I mentioned, it's not the wisest financial decision. For example, the reposado that you're drinking right now, inside of the blend, there are products that I could be selling as añejo. There are products that are over a year old. And as I mentioned, not the best financial decision, but when your aim is to have the best possible product, then you can think about doing this kind of things.
Right.
So we're using, as I mentioned, a different blends. You were talking about ages. I don't really believe in age statements. That's what I mentioned to you in our last call. It's a thing in the U.S. It's very interesting because in Mexico, nobody really cares about age. I mean, if it says reposado, it's reposado, and nobody asks for how long it's been in the barrel. But it's an American thing, and I love it, and I really like it because it kind of gives you an idea of what the brand is doing. Mm-hmm. But for me, an age statement would be a constraint. If I would say my reposado, for example, is, 4 months old, that would mean that each time I'm aging a reposado, I would have to take it out at 4 months old. And what if it's not ready? What if it's not ready to go? What if the wood hasn't given me what it's supposed to give me or what I want it to give me? The barrel pretty much does whatever it wants. It's capricious, completely capricious. It does whatever it wants. It depends on so many factors, weather factors, how much it's rained, if it's more moist or if it's not. It really depends on a lot of things for you to be able to say, you know what, this is going to be always perfect at 4 months.
Right.
So what we do is we have a family tasting panel, and that's my job as a blender. What I do is I take the last batch that we did and try to recreate it by doing a new blend from what we have out there. And when a product is not ready to go, then I'll leave it for more time. And maybe the next batch of Reposado is going to have an average of more months than the last one because it wasn't ready yet. So what I do is I try through blending to do this, to be consistent in our blends. And after I do that, I go to my family. I go to the family tasting panel, which is exactly that. It's my dad, my mom, my wife, and a couple of people that I've working with us for over 25 years. And we taste the last batch and this batch. And the only way that I can bottle that product is if every one of those guys signs off on it. If any one of them says, you know what, it's missing a little sweetness, it's a bit too, I don't know, too alcoholic, or whatever they tell me, I have to go back to the drawing board and bring a new blend to them. And until everybody signs off on it, then we can bottle it.
Nice, nice.
So that's the way that we believe in. And from seeing the bottle as you were showing it, the most important thing for us is what's inside. And we try to tell that into the design itself, that bling bling, showing off, having a very expensive bottle and cases and gold into it. For me, that's all bull. The real deal is what's in there, and that's where we put all of our money and all of our investment, and all that we do and all of our passion goes into what's inside of the product. Because we believe that that's the best way to do what we're doing. Obviously, there are some people or some companies that go through marketing, that maybe hire a big star or whatever. Good for them. What we do, our marketing is literally mouth to mouth.
Right.
Literally.
You know, and that's beautiful. You know, let me stop out. We have a couple questions here. Tequila Diaries says, are you in stores in California?
We're working on that. We're starting, I believe, next month. Our U.S. distributors are going to give you more on that information. I'm not really privy to that.
Well, if you want to order one right now, you can hit the link in my bio. You can see right there and order right from Drizzly, and it'll deliver right to your door. There was another question by her as well. It says, will each new batch indicate it's different from the previous batch?
Yes. Each batch has a label on the side that gives you the number of the batch, so you know which batch you're getting. This was one of my dreams, that someday, thinking of Pappy Van Winkle, you know, that some expressions are worth, I don't know, $300, $400 somewhere on eBay. Right. That's my dream, that someday somebody will say, you know what, batch number 145 is the best añejo they've ever made, so it's worth $400 to make it a collector's item.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, trust me. I mean, this right here, the lineup is absolutely delicious. You know, we can tell that you guys are putting love into this, and it's truly showing through. And I've even had some of this. I poured some of this up, especially the extra añejo, for bourbon and cognac lovers as well, and they absolutely love it as well. So, you know, next thing I want you to elaborate on here is, you know, what's next for you guys? You know, you guys have, I know we talked about some things you're wanting to expand on here, and that you're kind of going in the lab and experimenting with. What's kind of like, you know, I don't have the one blend that you said it's what you're working on now. So what's next, and what is it that I don't have in my bar right now that you're working on that you're excited about?
Okay. We're working on special reservas, very special products, some barrels that have turned out to be a lot, I mean, very, very complex and very, very good for it to go into the main production. So we want to start doing some special reserves. We also have something that my dad was completely against until I convinced him of it. We have a coffee liqueur out there. here in Cabo, we have some tequila stores, specialized tequila stores, and sort of a tequila museum. And that's pretty much my lab, my experiment lab, where I take these new different blends or my new ideas and give people to try. I mean, we get a ton of Americans going in and going out in Cabo. So I get to talk to them and I get to get them to try new things. So I decided to test this coffee liqueur, and they got crazy over it. So I sent it over to Lance and to the other guys from Tucson's, and they loved it too. So we decided to add that to the lineup, and so we now have a coffee liqueur that is very interesting. It really does taste like coffee, not something else. It really does taste like tequila too. So it's very easy to drink. And from what I've been seeing, I try to be in the U.S. maybe every month, every couple of months, and go around and talk about the product and do some tastings and some dinners. And what I've been seeing when people try the cafe, it's very good for people that have had this horrible college experience, where they try the tequila, and everybody's known that story from when they smell it. It's like, no, I cannot drink any tequila. If I smell it, I remember that night when I was 21 and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
the coffee liqueur is my way in. It's my foot in the door. I taste them on that and say, oh, really? I'm drinking tequila? And it's like, yeah, you're drinking tequila. At 20%, I mean, you're half the way in. But from then on, they start trying the tequila and they start understanding that tequila experience is not an aggressive experience, or shouldn't be an aggressive experience. Should be something that you can savor, that you can drink little by little.
Right.
As you were mentioning, I love the way that you mentioned, more than a lack of respect, shooting a product, for example, our extra añejo. I always tell people when I'm doing a tasting, the extra añejo, it's been on the soil, the agave, at least 6 years, let's say. Okay. Then we put it on the barrel for another 3 to 5 years. So you're drinking a product that took somewhere around 10 to 12 years to be in your hands. Please take at least 12 seconds to savor it.
Right. And I played baseball. I played baseball in my life. It's kind of like you're watching like a beautiful no-hitter, and instead of going and actually sitting down and watching the game and enjoying the game, you just want to fast forward to the highlights. You just want to get to, it's like, dude, appreciate the process, appreciate everything that went into it. We had a couple more questions here. I want to get to your actual blending process, how you're cooking your agave, the whole process there, what all tequilas are coming out of your distillery. But there was a couple questions here. Midnight, unfortunately, I cannot read Spanish, or else I would love to read your question for Dan here. Lunatic asks, is it available in Tejana?
I'm sorry, where? Is it available where?
In Tejana, I believe is how I pronounce it. I may be butchering, but yes.
Okay. Tajona. Tajona is a process, instead of using a mill, as we do, you use, that large round stone that is pulled by a horse. That's a tajona. That's a very, very ancient way of milling the tequila. And no, we don't do that. Midnight Geisha, he said, ¿en qué tiendas en México ya está a la venta? In which stores in Mexico can you find it? Here in Mexico, we pretty much only have it in Costco online. We decided that this was going to be a product for the US. We have some other products available. If you want to contact me later, I'll tell you what else we do here in Mexico.
Okay, well, they were saying Tijuana, Mexico. Is it available in Tijuana, Mexico?
Tijuana.
Tijuana, sorry.
No worries.
I feel bad. I need to go and learn Spanish so I can actually pronounce this. So my bad about that. But,
no worries. As I mentioned, it's available in Costco online, and there's a Costco in Tijuana. So yes, you could get it there.
All right, nice. All right, so we started to talk about you started to go a little bit into your distilling process and your cooking process. So, let's expand on that. How is this cooked? What's the distilling process? What are you using to blend this? Of course, you already mentioned the barrels that you use, but for those that, just for the sake of everyone listening during this segment right here, if you can expand on that as well, that would be great.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, first we late harvest. Then, when we get the agave into our plant, we cook it in autoclaves. That's using water vapor. After that, we have a milling. I think it's called a mill. It goes through three different sizes of. I don't know how to say that in English.
Well, you can say it in Spanish.
It's three different sizes of the mills. So each time it goes smaller and smaller and smaller. So you take all of the juices out. Then it goes into the vats for fermentation. We like to ferment as slowly as possible. Sometimes we take over 3 days in fermentation. Then it goes to the distillation. In the distillation, we use steel. Because I don't know if you knew this, but copper stills are prohibited in Europe. So if you ever want to export to Europe, you cannot use copper stills because apparently something goes into the product that Europeans don't like to put in their bodies. But we use stills. Steel still. And that's pretty much it for the silver. Then obviously we start aging our products. So we go to the reposado. As I mentioned, reposados, I would say it's an average of somewhere between 6 to 8 months. If I would have to average what goes into the blend, it's a lot more than industry standard. The law for it to be called reposado is 2 months. So we go over 3 times that. In the case of our añejo, we use some extra añejo into our blend. So I would say that it's somewhere around 20 to 24 months. That's double as much as the industry standard. That's 12 months. That's enough for you to call it an añejo. And from the extra añejo, it really all depends on the product and when we find it ready. For example, the one that we're having out there right now, it's 6 years old. It's a very old extra añejo.
Yeah. It's very delicious. It's absolutely delicious. It's one of, I'll be honest with you, it's going to stay on the top of my bar. As you guys can see, as I pointed out already, I'm already halfway down this bottle because it is so delicious. And everyone that watches me and follows my page know that I have a lot of bottles that's surrounding my camera right now. And as you can see, just the canisters that are behind me as well. But this is definitely, one of the best ones that I've had. Before, as we're starting to wrap up here, what is it that keeps you going? What is your motivation to keep going, to keep creating, to keep making this brand better? What is that motivation for you?
First of all, there's a motivation for exposing the good side of my country, because sadly, TV, Netflix, etc., they try to portray the narcos, the crime, all the horrible things. So it's very important for me to take out there to the world and to see that Mexico can also be a source of beautiful things, or very thought out things, and of very complex things. That will be the first. The second one, as I mentioned, for me, it has been the feedback I get from consumers. That's pretty much my life force. Whenever I see people trying, especially people that say that they don't like tequila and then try mine and say, oh my God, what is this? That pretty much just fills me, and I want to go back and work for a month just when I see one of those reactions. So it's pretty much that. It's something similar to art. When I sit down and I make my blends, I put classical music on. I shut the drapes and just I'm by myself, and it's like an artistic process. So those are the three things I would say that pretty much get me going and get my passion juices going, and that and just going out there and having as many people as possible to taste what my dad and my family have worked very hard for so long. So right now, to see a result of that, it's amazing. It's wonderful, and I want to keep it going, and I want to see my kids involved sometime also. They're 4 years old, so it's going to take a while.
Yeah,
Here in Mexico, you can start drinking at 18, so it's not that long.
Yeah, we have wait to 21 here, but we don't ever wait to 21. Let's be honest here. You know.
Come to Mexico, come to Cabo, and try it whenever you're 18.
Yeah, you know. Hey, I'm 30. Well, I'll be 36 next month. So I'm there, and I'm already trying. I can't wait to come to Cabo and meet with you and drink with you in person, my man. You know, this is just an absolutely beautiful expression. I'm so happy to be working with you guys. So like, I was telling, I don't know, well, I think I told you guys before this, that I had actually had Cantera Negra before you guys even reached out, before we even started talking about a partnership. And, you know, from that time, from the first time I had them, I'm like, man, this is absolutely delicious. I've always appreciated your blend. You know, you guys on here, you guys have won awards with every single blend that you have here. So congratulations on that. You know, you did a great job with all of this. And it's, you know, keep up the good work, man. And for everyone that just joined, just know that you can order these bottles. If you can't get them near you, and if your state allows for online deliveries, you can hit the Drizzly link. Their Cantera Negra store is in my bio right now. Their Drizzly link is in my bio right now. You can click right on there. You can order all their expressions. I highly, highly, highly suggest you order multiple bottles of this. This is absolutely delicious. You know, you're hearing the story right from Dan. I mean, the story is absolutely amazing. You know, you guys have created a beautiful craft here. You know, and it's obvious that, you know, your dad trusts you, and he's proud of his son for continuing on his legacy that started all the way in, you know, where was it that it started again?
In Switzerland 45 years ago.
Yeah. It was just an idea in Switzerland at a bar, you know, just, you know, someone making tequila in France, trying to pass it off as some good tequila. And your dad was like, nope, skip this. I'm going home. We're going to make a fantastic tequila, you know, and it's, you know, that's 45 years of love and hard work and sweat and passion put into this, and it's carrying on to youth, you know. But one thing I always love to do before, you know, I end these lives is, if you have any personal motivational message or personal story or words of advice for anyone that's out there, either on a tequila drinking basis or just life in general, I would love for you to, you know, to have those final words before we hop off of here. And, you know, I continue to have another pour of this Reposado.
Okay. I would always say stay humble. Stay humble, especially when things are going well, especially when you're starting to climb. If, like in my case, you're climbing over somebody's back, you have to be even more humble and to remember that whatever success we're getting and whatever achievements that you're getting, they wouldn't be here and they wouldn't exist if you wouldn't be standing on that person's shoulders. And that's my message, and that's what I've been learning. And even though I've had since it's been in my hands, I've had some success that my father didn't have. I understand that the first part, the foundations of whatever we're doing here, they were made by him and would never be and would never exist if it was just up to me. So stay humble, keep working, and someday, some generations later, maybe you'll get what you deserve.
Exactly, exactly. So just once again, tell everyone who you are. Of course, your connection to Cantera Negra, and and just how much they should be appreciating this tequila, because this is good. This is really good.
Thank you. Thank you once more. I'm Dan Becherano. I am the master blender and let's say co-owner of Cantera Negra. And I'm very happy to be with you guys, and I'm thankful of you, to you, Tyler, for showing us to your followers and to your people. And it's very important that you're leading the people, and that you're really influencing as should be influenced, because in this day and age, let's try and influence people to do some good stuff instead of some horrible things. And thank you very much for your time, Tyler. Thank you very much for everyone watching. And hope I see you somewhere out there, either here in Cabo or over in the U.S. in one of our tastings and one of our dinners. And salud.
Salute, brother. Salute. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person. Definitely, if you come to Chicago, make sure to message me, call me immediately. I'm there. And for everyone that's out there who are wondering where you can get this beautiful expression, this Cantera Negra, all their expressions, you can buy their bottles right now through the link in my bio, the Drizzly link in my bio. There's their home store there. So you can buy all their expressions here. Where like I said, I'm sipping on their Reposado. I'll be talking about their Añejo and their Extra Añejo in the next 2 days. And then for those that are going to be at LA Tequila Fest, if you are where I am at, I will actually have this beautiful bottle in hand, and we're going to do a live taste testing, and you guys will be able to actually try this. So if you guys come to LA Tequila Fest, you're going to be able to try this beautiful expression here that Dan has put his heart and soul, his dad has put his heart and soul into. And, you'll be able to see what I'm enjoying myself here. So once again, Dan, thank you so much for spending the time with me to talk with me for this, this hour. We got through the technical difficulties, and this is absolutely a beautiful story. And, I just want to thank you so much. And for everyone watching, thank you guys. Love you guys. And Dan, I'll see you here in the near future.
See you soon.
All right.
Thanks a lot, amigo.